Welcome everyone. My name is Emily Pyle and I'm an admissions counselor here at St. Louis University's Madrid campus in Spain. I have the pleasure of introducing the talk we have today that is part of a series called Viral Thinking. In the Viral Thinking series, we will share information across several disciplines and how they've been affected by the coronavirus. It is our hope that the talks spark further conversations that are relevant and thought-provoking. Much like a viral YouTube video, our hope is that the conversations inspired by the videos in this series will catch on and go viral, so to speak. Much like the liberal arts style of education, where students study many disciplines that are ultimately interrelated, so is the coronavirus crisis. While COVID-19 at first look is a biological subject, and we do have a talk on the virus and testing, at the same time, the coronavirus crisis is affecting many areas like the economy, people's physical and mental health, office and human resource management, world health policies, business models, and so on. Today, we'll be discussing the effects of COVID-19 on international relations. This talk will be given by Dr. Laura Tedesco. Laura Tedesco holds a PhD from the University of Warwick and is a political science professor and associate dean for humanities and social sciences at SLU-Madrid. She analyzes contemporary politics in Latin America, focusing her research on democracy, political leadership, and urban violence. Laura Tedesco has published several books in both English and Spanish on political leaders in Latin America. Welcome, Professor Tedesco, and thank you for joining us today.
Thank you.
So I think you're going to give an overview of your talk, correct?
Yes. So what we are going to talk today is about the impact of COVID-19 in global politics. Yeah. And I gave the title of From Crisis to Opportunity. So we are going to start about what is crisis, yeah, and a little bit about also global politics before COVID-19. Yeah? So the first idea is to define crisis, then look at what happened on the situation of the global politics before COVID, and to what extent the pandemia had brought a lot of uncertainty, and what are the ideas for the future, what will happen, what still there is a lot of uncertainty, but we can still think about some ideas for the near future.
Great. So starting with the first topic of crisis, how would you define crisis right now in the current context?
Well, crisis in politics, we can identify 3 periods of time. Yeah, first of all, there is a breakdown. There is a breakdown of the current situation or the context. Yeah, and this breakdown basically means that, for instance, the economic situation or the economic model is under a lot of questioning, yeah, or it doesn't bring economic growth, yeah, or the political system, yeah, is also under questioning, which is happening now with liberal democracy, right? So we have the period of when what used to be the status quo is in a period of breakdown. Yeah, this is a turning point. Yeah, and the turning point can be seen as a positive situation. Yeah, a crisis is not necessarily a negative. Yeah, a negative period. Yeah, it can bring a lot of opportunities. Yeah, questioning the liberal democracy doesn't really mean that we are going to go to a worse scenario. Yeah, it means that maybe we are going to improve liberal democracy. We are going to realize what are the main problems and difficulties of this liberal democracy. By liberal democracy, I mean, democracy where you have elections, where you have freedom of speech, where you have freedom of communication and human rights. Yeah, so what you have here in Spain or in most of the European countries or in the United States. And in the United States, there are quite a lot of problems today with liberal democracy. So after this turning point, we have the restructuring. Okay, in the restructuring is what we are going to face. Yeah, once the the crisis of the COVID-19 is over, or at least is controlled. And then when the economic crisis, what we can see is the extent of the economic crisis. So there is a time of uncertainty, and the future seems quite scary. Yeah. So if we go to the next slide, yeah, what happened before, yeah, COVID, right? The world has become very interdependent, and we talk a lot about globalization. This was in economic terms and also in political terms, yeah. And it basically means that international trade, yeah, was very important at the local and at the domestic level in the economy, yeah. And it also meant that cost and time to move almost anything around the world has decreased, yeah. Okay, maybe for you it's difficult to realize, but only 20 or 30 years ago, you know, things didn't move so fast, right? Not even people and letters, yeah, communication, anything, yeah, took much more time, yeah. And what we have now is an interlocking global economy. And this is going to be difficult, yeah, to change. And this is what I mean by interdependence and globalization. Yes, sorry.
Yeah, I think you, just to go off a little bit more about interdependence, could you explain that a little bit more? I think you have an example for us. Yeah.
Yes, here we have an example, right, which I think is quite interesting, because it's an example that is we can all understand, yeah, and this example very well, yeah. It's the company AIRBUS, yeah, and AIRBUS has, okay, here you can read, yeah, but what I want to emphasize is that AIRBUS has people working in 16 locations in 4 countries, yeah. AIRBUS is producing, yeah, the planes in France, Germany, Spain, and in the United Kingdom, yeah.
Right.
The final assembly takes place in Toulouse, in Hamburg, and in Sevilla, and since 2009 also in China, right. It's interesting to see that from 2019 there is a shuttle, yeah, which it's another company is taking employees from Hamburg to Toulouse, right? So it's taking employees by a plane from Hamburg to Toulouse, yeah, to basically finish, yeah, a plane that they were producing. I don't know if they are still doing that, yeah, which was a single A aircraft, yeah. So basically, what this shows, yeah, is that AIRBUS is, you know, is spread, yeah, in different countries, right? And also they have subsidiaries in United States, Japan, and in India, yeah. These multinational companies are all over the world. And this is what I meant by interdependence, yeah. And this is what has been really impacted by COVID, right? In the very beginning, when it affected China, the first question was, what are we going to do if China has a lockdown and we cannot get any type of commodities, any type of you know, products from China? Because most of the Western countries depend a lot of products from China.
Correct. Yeah, very true. It's a scary thought to think of.
Yes.
Speaking of just, you know, future kind of uncertainty, you know, it's hard to say, but what is the level of uncertainty provoked by COVID-19? You know, could you elaborate on that a little bit more? What is the future kind of looking like for us?
Well, it is, there is a lot of uncertainty, yeah, it's quite high, because I think there is a new world order in the making, but we still don't know, yeah, how it will be. After the Second World War, yeah, we did have the winners, right? They met in Yalta, right? The United Kingdom, the United States, France, and and the Soviet Union, and they, they put the basis of what is known as the Bretton Woods system, right? But now, if you look at the international level, the United Nations and the Security Council didn't have any role in the COVID-19 crisis. Yeah, we have no idea what will happen between China and the United States. Many academics are talking about a Cold War, but mainly an economic Cold War. But also we have to remember that China also has nuclear weapons. Yeah, so a Cold War between China and the United States. We have no idea what will be the future of Russia, the future of Europe, because we have to emphasize also that how Europe reacted to the crisis was basically to close borders. Yeah, there was no European solution. Yeah. Although, okay, now there is a European solution, a European economic solution, giving quite a lot of money to countries to recover after this crisis. And then we have the future of liberal democracy, yeah, because there is many countries that have taken measures which are not very democratic, yeah, and we have the problem of populism. And we have also some democracies that have become authoritarian countries, like Hungary. So there are a lot of questions, yeah, that we still don't have an answer, right? Everything, there is a lot of things that depend on the elections in the United States. Yeah, this is going to open some or help us to answer some of these questions. Yeah, if we go to the next slide, yeah, okay, it could be an exacerbation of nationalism, yeah, rather than this international world order, yeah, with many international institutions, yeah. So that we go back to the nation state and the national interest, yeah. A return of big government where the state, yeah, has a huge role rather than the private enterprise, yeah. It could be also deepening globalization, right? Or strengthening of local government, because at the end of the day, the ones who were very relevant dealing with COVID-19 were the local governments, yeah, not the federal government. In the United States or in Brazil were the governors, yeah, or the mayors who were dealing with COVID, yeah. So it could be any of these four, and we still don't know. We have to wait. First of all, maybe we have to wait until the virus is controlled, and then the impact of the virus in the economy, and then maybe we have to see the reaction of the governments, yeah, of the European Union, as I say, and the United States and China, Russia. It's there is a high uncertainty. Yeah, there are a lot of academics thinking about different scenarios, but there is a huge question mark. Yeah, but new generations, yeah, hopefully are going to help us to have new ideas and to inspire us to take this as an opportunity to take care of our of issues that were very important before the COVID-19, climate change, the problem of poverty and inequality in the world. Yeah, so maybe we can take this as an opportunity to change many things that were wrong and make this world safer, yeah, and a better world for everyone.
Yeah, very true. If nothing else, this situation certainly provides some interesting discussion. I'm sure also interesting material for your classes and going forward. It's everything that anybody talks about right now. So, and we are, just to make a note, we are recording this talk in October of 2020. So by the time you watch this, wherever you are, things could have changed because things are changing quite rapidly. Well, thank you again, Dr. Tedesco, for speaking with us today and giving us this very informative talk. It was a pleasure, as always.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And I hope this talk inspire young people to think of a better future.
Yes, definitely. Let's think positive.
Okay.
All right. Thank you again. Have a nice day.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.